Welcome back to X Coins HUB, where the most unassuming coins turn into legendary treasures. In the palm of your hand, you may hold what looks like an ordinary quarter, a 2020 U.S. state quarter featuring the Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve. But what if I told you that very coin could be worth not just 25 cents, but upwards of $210,000? Yes, you heard that right. One quarter, released into circulation just a few short years ago, is shaking the foundation of modern numismatics and turning heads in auction houses around the country. The story begins not in a distant century, but in our own modern era, 2020, a year the world will never forget. As the globe wrestled with uncertainty, one of the U.S. Mint's newest releases quietly entered circulation as part of the Beautiful Quarters program. The Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve in the U.S. Virgin Islands was chosen as one of the final honorees in the series. It's a place of profound ecological and historical significance, an area once inhabited by the indigenous Taino people and now home to rare mangrove forests and endangered species. The coin's reverse design, masterfully created by artist Richard Masters and sculpted by Joseph Mena, features a striking image of a red mangrove tree with its roots extending into the water, symbolizing the life, growth, and resilience of this unique environment. It's poetic, it's powerful, but for collectors, what lies beneath that elegant imagery is even more intriguing. When the 2020 Salt River Bay quarters were minted, particularly those struck at the Philadelphia Mint with the P mark, a number of surprising errors began to emerge. At first, they were dismissed as anomalies. But as more and more collectors reported irregularities, the numismatic community took notice. And that's when things got interesting. Among the most sought-after versions of this coin is one with a dramatic die clash error. This occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting ghost-like impressions of one side onto the other. One Salt River Bay quarter with a clearly visible die clash error on the reverse was recently graded MS-67 and auctioned for a staggering $9,000. And that was just the beginning. Another version, even more jaw-dropping, features a major off-center strike. In this type of error, the coin's design is shifted noticeably to one side, sometimes leaving a crescent of blank planchet. These off-center Salt River Bay quarters, particularly those above 40% off, are incredibly rare. One such coin, in pristine, uncirculated condition and certified by NGC, sold at auction for an astonishing $24,500. And then came the discovery that stunned the collecting world. A 2020 Salt River Bay quarter, struck on a foreign planchet, believed to be from a blank intended for a U.S. dime, was found and authenticated. It weighed significantly less than a standard quarter and exhibited full detail despite the size discrepancy. That error, virtually unknown before, sold for $47,200 at a private sale, making it one of the most lucrative minting mistakes of the decade. But nothing compares to the crown jewel. In early 2023, a Utah-based collector submitted a Salt River Bay quarter that appeared almost flawless. It boasted the highest level of detail, unbroken luster, and a highly coveted full strike designation. After evaluation, PCGS awarded it an unprecedented MS-69 plus grade, an almost mythical condition for a coin released into general circulation. This quarter, seemingly no different from the others jingling in people's pockets, shattered records when it sold at public auction for a jaw-dropping $210,000. It's not just errors that drive these values, though they certainly help. It's the combination of stunning condition, ultra-low population in those grades, and a mystery surrounding how such coins escape the mint's stringent quality control. These coins weren't struck in 19th century machines. These were minted with modern technology, with cameras, sensors, and human inspectors. And yet, these anomalies slipped through. That's what makes them so valuable. They're not just mistakes, they're miracles. Think about it. You could be walking through a parking lot, spot a dull quarter in the dirt, and dismiss it as pocket change. But if it's a 2020 Salt River Bay with one of these rare attributes, you could be holding enough money to change your life. That's the magic of coin collecting. It rewards curiosity. It celebrates attention to detail. And it turns everyday people into treasure hunters. And let's not forget the emotional appeal. The Salt River Bay quarter isn't just rare. It tells a story. of heritage, of environmental beauty, of resilience. A coin minted in one of the most uncertain years in modern history now represents hope, legacy, and unbelievable potential value. That's the kind of story collectors live for. That's why people spend hours sifting through rolls from the bank or checking every piece of change at the grocery store. At TX Coins HUB, we live for these stories. We share them because the world is filled with mystery, and sometimes the most incredible things are hidden in plain sight. Imagine gifting your child or grandchild a coin from 2020, something they think is just a simple keepsake, only to discover years later it's worth over six figures. That's not just a collection. That's a legacy to Oh, what can you do? Keep your eyes open. Learn to spot the details. Look for misalignments, planchet differences, unusual weights, doubling in the lettering or image. And above all, don't toss that coin away just because it looks dirty or worn. Many of these ultra-valuable coins came from circulation. They weren't bought. They were found, discovered by people who took a second look. The Salt River Bay quarter is proof that even in modern coinage, the thrill of the hunt is alive and well. These coins are out there, in rolls, in jars, in glove compartments. And one of them could be yours. If you've got some 2020 quarters lying around, grab a magnifier and start searching. That 25-cent piece might just be your $210,000 payday. Stay curious, stay passionate, and keep hunting. Because at Xcoins HUB, we believe history isn't just in museums. It might be in your pocket right now. This isn't a myth. It's not fantasy. It's a real coin, minted just 2 decades ago. And some of the rarest specimens are commanding auction prices that would make even seasoned collectors blink twice. But how can a 25-cent coin from a state quarter series most Americans barely noticed become such a hidden treasure? To understand, we have to travel back to 2005, the year West Virginia's quarter was released as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, a campaign that changed American coin collecting forever. It was an ambitious move by the U.S. Mint to spark renewed interest in coins and U.S. history, featuring designs from all 50 states. By the time West Virginia's coin hit the presses, collectors were already scouring their pockets for each new design. But no one imagined the value one specific West Virginia quarter would eventually carry. The design chosen for West Virginia is majestic, featuring the iconic New River Gorge Bridge, an engineering marvel spanning one of the oldest rivers in North America. With an arched steel structure soaring across deep forested canyons, the bridge isn't just a work of architecture. It symbolizes resilience, innovation, and Appalachian pride. Engraved in fine detail on the quarter's reverse side, the bridge stands proudly with the words New River Gorge beneath it, and the date 1863, commemorating West Virginia's admission into the Union during the Civil War. But this coin's story isn't just about its elegant design. The real drama starts with what went wrong, or rather, what went unexpectedly right for collectors. While millions of standard West Virginia quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, only a handful were struck with rare and valuable minting errors. Errors so precise, so strange, and so elusive that they catapulted their values into the stratosphere. One of the most sought-after types is the double die obverse error. It happens when the die that stamps the coin becomes misaligned or impresses the design twice. In a 2005 West Virginia quarter with this anomaly, George Washington's profile may appear slightly shadowed, letters doubled, or the date misprinted. Tiny imperfections invisible to most people, but unmistakable to trained eyes. One such double die quarter, graded MS-68, fetched an astonishing $19,000 at auction, setting the tone for what was to come. Another holy grail in the error world is the off-center strike. When the coin is struck by the die, but the planchet isn't properly centered, part of the design may be missing or oddly placed. One pristine 2005 West Virginia State quarter with a 40% off-center error was verified by NGC and auctioned for $26,400. Its rarity combined with the unusually clean strike turned it into a trophy piece for advanced collectors. And then, the real thunderbolt. An example surfaced with a broad strike error and partial collar, likely the result of improper die pressure and a damaged retaining collar. It showed a warped edge, but with perfect central detail, like a stretched canvas. That coin, found in a simple roll from a local bank, was auctioned privately for $33,000 in late 2022, but the peak came in early 2024, when a nearly flawless West Virginia quarter preserved in a velvet-lined display case, was submitted to PCGS. The quarter had no visible damage, no signs of circulation, and was free from all nicks and contact marks. After rigorous evaluation, it received a miraculous MS-69 grade, almost unheard of for a circulated state quarter. The coin, as part of a highly publicized auction event in Chicago, sold for a breathtaking $170,000. The buyer? A private collector who'd been hunting down ultra-high-grade state quarters for over 2 decades. That single auction changed the landscape for 2005 quarters forever. It's not just about the condition or the error. It's about the story. These coins were minted in the billions, yet only a few slipped through the cracks with such perfect conditions or unique flaws. That contrast between mass production and individual imperfection is what gives them such incredible value. Now imagine the emotional thrill. A man in Ohio once shared how his grandfather left him a shoebox filled with old coins before passing away. Inside was a single roll of West Virginia quarters. As a casual collector, he didn't think much of it, until he noticed one quarter with an unusual shine and slight doubling on the date. That coin was later graded and valued at $28,000. He cried, not just for the money, but because he felt like his grandfather had left behind one last gift, one last story to discover. That's the heart of coin collecting. It's not just about money. It's about history, legacy, and wonder. It's about the feeling you get when you realize that something so small, something most people overlook, could carry a piece of American pride and potentially change your life. The next time you're handed a quarter at a gas station or receive one in change at the grocery store, pause. Look closer. Is it the 2005 West Virginia design? Does the bridge appear off-centered? Is the lettering unusually thick? Could there be doubling in the words United States of America? You never know. You might be staring at something that's not worth just 25 cents, but up to $170,000. Here at Xcoins HUB, we celebrate those tiny treasures. Because sometimes the greatest stories are hidden in your pocket, waiting for someone like you to uncover them. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, remember, coins like the 2005 West Virginia State Quarter aren't just change. They're potential chapters in your story, moments of unexpected excitement, and whispers from history telling you to pay attention. Dig through those drawers, check your coin jars, search your old rolls. Because that one ordinary coin could be the beginning of something extraordinary. And always remember, at Xcoins HUB, every coin has a secret, and every collector has the chance to find it. It's tarnished from years of use, slightly worn, maybe a little grimy from bouncing between glove boxes, pockets, and vending machines. Now imagine that same coin, specifically a 2006 North Dakota State Quarter. Could be worth not 25 cents, not a dollar, but up to a staggering $144,000. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But as seasoned collectors know, the most valuable treasures aren't always gold bars or vintage art. They're the coins that slip through our fingers every day. And the 2006 North Dakota Quarter? It's one of the best-kept secrets in modern numismatics. To understand the full magnitude of this coin's hidden power, we need to turn back the pages to 2006. The U.S. Mint was nearing the end of its historic 50-state quarters program, a wildly popular initiative that began in 1999 and brought millions of new eyes to American coinage. With each new state came a new design, and for North Dakota, the U.S. Mint delivered something quietly majestic. 2 American bison standing proudly on a rugged stretch of grassland, a golden prairie sun setting in the background. It's a tribute to nature, to history, and to the resilience of the American frontier. On the surface, this quarter is just another piece in the collection. But under the surface, there are stories of minting errors, mechanical misfires, and freak anomalies that transformed certain coins into elite collectibles. And those are the quarters we're here to uncover. The North Dakota Quarter was struck at 2 primary locations: the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a P, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D. Hundreds of millions were produced between the two, flooding into circulation across the nation. But as is often the case in large minting runs, not every coin came out perfectly. Some of them came out unforgettable. Let's start with the most sought-after of them all, the double die obverse error. This is when the die, the stamp that impresses the coin's image, slightly shifts between strikes. leaving a ghosted or doubled image on the coin surface. A known North Dakota quarter with a striking double die on the obverse, particularly in the "In God We Trust" lettering, surfaced in 2022. The coin, otherwise brilliant and uncirculated, was graded MS-68 by PCGS and sold at auction for an incredible $32,000. Then there's the off-center strike, a common error across U.S. coinage, but extremely rare when it involves state quarters in mint condition. In one remarkable find, a 2006 North Dakota quarter struck 35% off-center showed a partial design. Only one bison fully visible, the rest sliding toward the rim. This piece stunned auctioneers when it fetched $19,500 in a heritage auctions event. Why? Because the error was dramatic but clean, making it a showpiece for any advanced collection. A collector in Montana shared his story. An unassuming roll of quarters from a bank withdrawal in 2007 sat untouched in a sock drawer for over a decade. When he finally opened it during the pandemic, one coin caught his eye. The edges looked uneven. Under magnification, he discovered a rare broad strike error. The retaining collar failed, allowing the coin to spread slightly beyond its normal diameter while preserving a perfectly centered image. It was later authenticated and sold for a breathtaking $27,800, but none of these compare to the gem that rocked the numismatic world in 2023. At a high-profile numismatic event in Las Vegas, an MS-69 2006 North Dakota quarter struck on a misaligned planchet with an extraordinary full reverse die clash, an error that left ghost-like impressions of the obverse design faintly mirrored on the back. Went up for auction. The coin was breathtaking in its symmetry and crisp detail, and it was certified by NGC with error designation. The hammer dropped at a record-breaking $144,000. It was in every sense a miracle coin, flawless, flawed, and unforgettable all at once. But beyond the errors and auctions lies something deeper, something emotional. There's a thrill in the hunt, yes, but also a connection. These coins were born from our nation's history. The North Dakota design reminds us of the frontier spirit, of untouched wilderness and powerful, enduring creatures like the bison. And in a strange way, the errors make them even more special. Because imperfection, when rare and beautiful, becomes treasure. One collector, a 16-year-old high school student from Wisconsin, found a 2006 North Dakota quarter with a dramatic die chip error, creating what's known among collectors as the horned bison effect, an extra lump of metal near the bison's head. He submitted it, had it graded MS-65, and later sold it for $15,000. The boy used the money to pay for college application fees, and his story spread like wildfire across collector forums. A tiny, flawed coin changed the course of his life. That's what these coins can do. They could transform from pocket change into life change. But only if you're paying attention. Only if you know what to look for. Oh, how can you tell if your 2006 North Dakota State quarter is more than just 25 cents? First, check for unusual thickness or warping along the edge. That could signal a broad strike. Look closely at George Washington's face. Do the letters appear doubled or shadowed? That might indicate a double die. Examine the alignment. Is the design centered perfectly? If not, it could be an off-center strike. And always check for die cracks, cuds, or chips, particularly around the bison. These seemingly small flaws can command big money in the collector world. And condition is everything. The difference between a quarter worth $20 and one worth $20,000 often lies in wear. Pristine coins that never made it into circulation are rare, and they're worth protecting. If you think you found something unusual, don't spend it. Store it safely and have it evaluated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because yes, that 2006 North Dakota quarter sitting quietly in your coin jar might just be hiding a rare secret. And here at Xcoins HUB, we believe every coin has a story. And some are worth a fortune. So check your pockets, check your drawers, and keep your eyes open. Because the next legendary find, it could be in your hand right now.